taken Somali phobia into a new alarming level. His attacks on Somali-owned businesses are born out of jealousy, envy, and hatred. They amount to ethnic profiling, misinformation, and deliberate attempts to divide Kenyans. Somali community has conducted businesses with other communities from other Kenyan communities from colonial period to date, forming one of the most trusted and resilient commercial partnerships in the history of our country. It is therefore irresponsible and dangerous for any leader to try and create enmity between communities that have coexisted and prospered together for generations. The attempt to link the BBS Mall to alleged Minnesota fraud is entirely false. BBS Mall is a result of years of hard work, careful planning, transparent, legal investments by its owners. The owners are globally respected businessmen. This business was mooted long before His Excellency President William Ruto became even a deputy president, before he became a deputy president, let alone becoming a president. The project took many years to complete and has created jobs, contributed to government revenue, and supported Kenyan local communities. This magnificent mall has elevated Kenya to new global and international heights. Our silence should not be taken for fear. The Somali community are not anyone's guests in the Republic of Kenya. Kenya is a colonial construct. We did not choose to be Kenyans. Other Kenyans did not choose to be Kenyans. We were part of the Kenya colony and protectorate, which was created by the British to suit their own desires of the time, at the time. But since we got independence, we have learned to coexist together, live together harmoniously as one entity, one sovereign state, one territorial integrity, and to respect one another. We will not shy away from defending our businessmen from reckless and divisive utterances by this rogue Rigathi Gachagua, who is smarting away from the impeachment and remains bitter long after he was impeached. When he was deputy president, all was well, including praising the same people he now attacks, showing that his actions are personal and politically motivated and lack any factual basis. Kenya's leaders and citizens must reject attempts to criminalize success or business acumen and using ethnicity as a factor. Somali-owned business enterprises, like all other Kenyan enterprises, strengthen the economy, create employment, and promote national development. Kenya is one nation built on unity, enterprise, opportunity, and the will, the indomitable will of its 50+ million Kenyans. No community in this country should be turned into a political punching bag by failed, reckless politicians. We hear him telling the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, come and plug out our president. Pick our president the way you have picked Maduro. Nobody, not the mightiest powers in this world, will have that capacity to do this against the will of Kenyans. Kenyans and the world must remember what happened many years back in Mogadishu when the Americans, with all their sophistication and might, wanted to take one General Farah, Muhammad Aidid. The one thing you can never try in the Horn of Africa is to try and do that. Americans learned their lesson. The international community learned its lesson, and not a single president of ours, not a single leader of our country will be placarded by anybody else. We don't care whether you're a superpower, and nobody will ever try. As long as we have Kenyans with the guts, and we have many of them who have the guts, including all of us who are here now addressing you today. Nobody is going to mess with us because they think we are a subhuman. No. If it has happened in other countries, if it has happened in Libya, it has happened in Iraq, it has happened in other places, I can assure you one thing, it will never happen in Kenya. It will never happen in Kenya. And we are willing to shed every drop of blood of every citizen of this country before we can be treated to that kind of embarrassment. No. We became independent, and our independence was born out of the struggle for freedom of Kenyans. Anybody ambaye anawatafuta wazungu kwenda kwa lamba aende atafute hapo kwingine, sio hapa Kenya. We are proud people. We are a proud nation, and we have the capacity to protect ourselves from any external threat, regardless of how powerful that external threat is. Even if it's a nuclear power, we are confident of ourselves.
To condemn in the strongest terms possible the record statements that were made by one Rigathi Gachagua concerning businesses owned by the Somali community, and specifically the BBS Mall. You all know that BBS Mall is one of the finest and magnificent mall in East and Central Africa. It has never been pulled, one of its kind, ever in Kenya or in East and Central Africa. The kind of hatred that one Rigathi Gachagua is spewing against this community is not the first time. He had initially started with senior government officials before, attacked them, talked lies about them, and now he has come to the businessmen and businesswomen of the community. When you look at his statements, this is a man who is still smarting from the impeachment. From the day he was impeached, this man became mad and haywire. And please, for purpose of record and the media, don't refer Rigathi Gachagua as His Excellency. Once you are impeached, that title doesn't belong to you. Completely. Go and look at the laws and the rules and regulations. Once you are impeached, one Rigathi Gachagua, the only title he will remain with is Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, because he was once a member of Parliament. The term His Excellency has been dropped once you are impeached. The same as when, if you are a military officer and you are dismissed, you don't carry that rank or title with you. So it's the same. So please refer to Gachagua as Honorable, not His Excellency. That ended with his impeachment. Two, we are dealing with a madman. It's unfortunate that people are looking up to him as a leader. What kind of a leader? The other day he talked about schools that are within Mount Kenya and say it's only one ethnic community that is supposed to be schooling here and administering. That is a madman that we have in Kenya. It's unfortunate that people who are following him. I have one message for Mr. Kalonzo Musyoka. You are a honorable person, serve this country as a vice president. Please, don't follow this madman. He's going to take you to the mud. And so, for that matter, we want to tell Rigathi Gachagua that you do not deserve to be a leader of any kind. It's unfortunate that even Honorable Ruto, His Excellency Ruto, appointed him or got him as his deputy. Now we know he's a madman. You can't even do. So once impeached, you have no role talking to Kenyans. And please refer to him as Honorable Gachagua, not His Excellency. That ended with his impeachment.
I would like to use this opportunity to set the record straight insofar as Eastleigh and the BBS mall is concerned. First of all, let me say that the overwhelming majority of Somalis in Kenya are law-abiding, peace-loving citizens who have lived in harmony with other communities and their neighbors. They hold no grudge or hatred against any community in our country. We are scattered all over Kenya, and we live very peacefully and harmoniously with all our compatriots. Let me first say, first of all, that the BBS was established by a group of visionary and extraordinary entrepreneurs and investors, majority of whom happen to be Somalis. These investors saw the opportunity and the potential of putting a major business or enterprise in Kenya. And they chose Nairobi, and in particular, Eastleigh. Their action was a vote of confidence in the future of our country. And they poured billions of shillings of their hard-earned resources into our economy, providing employment to our people, paying millions in tax revenue to the state, and lifting up our national GDP. Since its inception, the BBS Mall has raised the economy, profile, and reputation of our neighborhood, our city, and our country. It has become a source of pride and success to the people who call Eastleigh home, not only the Somalis, but the thousands of other people whom we share space with in our neighborhood. It predates the Minneapolis fraud cases, a highly politicized, weaponized situation which involves many other members of other nationalities, colors, and communities, but has become a cause célèbre to frame and scapegoat the Somali community in the US and beyond. Bashing Somalis, be they here in Kenya or the United States, has become a blood sport. And peddling propaganda, disinformation, and damn lies is the latest game trending on the social media. Therefore, we have come together to debunk that concept. We can no longer ignore the systematic and sustained barrage of ill advice and unjustified attacks that targets a whole community. Keeping silence is not acceptable anymore. Degrading, denigrating, demonizing, and destroying the name, the character, and the reputation of a whole community is unacceptable. And today we're here to say, stop the demonization, stop the bashing of Somalis, and let us stand up together to condemn those who are peddling fear, those who see the Somalis as other, and who have come to learn to hate others. Which is why we as leaders have to take a stand. We must take a stand against xenophobia and the growing tide of Somaliphobia, and against the corrosive power of hate. Before it is too late, we want to say that all it takes for evil to flourish is for good people to do nothing about it. So we must stop now, and we must expose those leaders who are bent on dividing our community, creating divisions that might push our country to the edge and eventually